Hi guys, Tom Laird here. You've heard me break down contact center technology on the podcast time and time again. Now it's time for me to help you with your challenges. As your contact center technology advisor through our new company, Expedia Digital, I can help you with things like CCaaS selection, any type of AI implementation, and nice studio and integration services. It's the same honest advice you hear on The Geek applied specifically to your operation. Visit expediadigital.com to get started. That's expediadigital.com. So welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Advice from a Call Center Geek, the call center and contact center podcast. We try to give you some actionable items, take back in your contact center, improve the overall quality, improve the agent experience, hopefully improve your customer experience as well. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Tom Laird. I am the CEO of Expedia Interaction Marketing. We are a USA contact center BPO located here in the United States. Also the CEO of AutoQA, OTTOQA, which is a AI-powered platform to fully score and give analytics and insights into all of your contact center calls. I know I've been saying this same kind of thing in the last probably 4 or 5 episodes, but there's been so much going on here when it comes to, again, just personal life. Like I coach high school basketball. I'm coaching my kids' 5th and 6th grade basketball, work with Expedia, looking at kind of some of the AI things we're doing there, looking at Expedia Digital, which we're doing managed services just on the NICE platform. So again, if you are a NICE customer and you're having trouble routing, you're having trouble with Studio, you have questions about the platform, we're here to help with that. And then also, again, AutoQA has just been doing amazing. Multiple customers now. We've rolled out Redo, which, if you don't know about it, check it out on autoqa.com. Really cool stuff that we're doing. And again, I think that's a good lead into what I want to talk about today. We need to kind of think and be more creative about AI in the contact center. Every single CCaaS platform, and again, I know I've done a newsletter on this, I've done multiple posts on this, but this is kind of maybe the most robust conversation I want to have on this is the CCaaS platforms, these major technology partners, they're building the same stuff, and it's kind of boring, to be honest, right? There's a race to, I guess, use our agent to take over your customer support. Like that's the race. That's the only race that people are running when there's a ton of different things that we could be doing. And I think we got so excited early on that AI could take over for the contact center agent that we forgot about all of this other stuff that really is a cooler use case in 2025, 2026 for AI. It's just funny. I see so many of these companies, they talk about you're falling behind. And the only way to get ahead is if you use their version of their magical AI, right? Don't use anybody else's, but this is the AI. And again, I'm going to do a video at the end of the year on kind of what I see as the real, what I see as kind of not real, what you probably should be investing in and looking at in 2026. So kind of like a lead into the next year. But what I want to do today is what I've been really harping on and talking about if you've been following me. And I want to get into it at a much deeper level. But these are the tools I wish CCaaS companies were actually building. Like this is the stuff when I talk to my friends, in the industry, when I talk to other BPOs, when I talk to other call center managers, anytime I bring this stuff up, they're like, dude, you have that? Where can we get that? How do we do that? And the companies that actually realize that there's more than just agentic chatbots to take over your support and give a customer another option for self-service. When we realize there's more to it than that, those are, I believe, the companies that are really going to thrive. And if the NICEs or the Genesises or the TalkDesks or the Five9s or the UJets or any of these big Amazon Connect, any of these big CCaaS platforms actually put resources towards this, they would race ahead because their platform becomes easy to use. I don't care what anybody says. It's not easy to use. AI is not easy to implement. Not yet in 2025, 2026, when you're using these large platforms, right? It's very doable. It's not like it's brain surgery, but it's not a just, set it and forget it kind of thing. There's a lot that goes into it. But anyway, so here's I don't know, 5, 6, 7, depending on how deep I want to get into this, of things that I would like to see CCaaS. This would be my AI Christmas wish list, right, for these CCaaS companies. Number one it's probably not being built because it would put a lot of people out of business, but I don't think it's that difficult to do when you have the resources of some of these large CCaaS. And number one is kind of an AI flow or routing builder that you could prompt in English and really deploy quickly. Meaning, for those of you, every platform has their own kind of programming language, or it's not really programming, but it's a way that we have to tell the CCaaS, right? This is how I want calls routed. This is the business rules I want to use. And right now, you can't do that in English. You have to have somebody who's at least skilled or trained in kind of that language. And NICE, that's what we use. They call it Studio, right? So in Studio, you can create objects and you can go in there and make sure that you're routing and hey, I want this to route 3 times, then go to this agent, then look for these hours of operation. They go like all of that kind of stuff. And it can get extremely complex depending on when you go to self-service to an agent, then you're looking and you want to send to specific agents based on certain criteria. You can route off CRM data. Like it gets robust, right? Normal people can't use the platform to its fullest extent. So there's no reason that there can't be an AI agent or some type of AI tool inside of Studio. And again, I'm not picking on NICE because no one has it, but I just know NICE the best, right? Inside of NICE, that you could say, hey, build me a script that checks if the caller is a repeat customer within 30 days. It sends returning customers to the same group that they just interacted with. Maybe it prioritizes kind of the top tier, the gold tier members. It sends password resets to self-service. And escalates any call that exceeds 90 seconds in queue to maybe a retention specialist or some type of someone who's going to handle a more difficult caller. Route our after call to voicemail and email and transcribe it to the account manager. Like all of these things, I want to just be able to tell it to do that and then have it build its workflows out for you, right? Just like Claude Code, if you need some type of API connectivity or API endpoint, it asks you for it, tells you where to go get it, right? Managed services doesn't have to happen. Like I'm in managed services. I would still prefer to see something like this, right? This would take a massive swath of people probably in companies to doing other things. But this is probably the number one thing that I think I would love to see built that would allow access to your platform to everyone, right? You don't need to be a huge IT technical person. A lot of these smaller contact centers that we're working with, for auto, they don't have this, right? They don't have that real technical person, so they never use the platform to any extent. There's no reason that this can't be done. I'd love to see that be able to be to build, right? So again, I just, the real opportunity everybody keeps still thinking is the another chatbot, but something that builds routing intelligence with English, I think is just vastly more important and more valuable in 2025, 2026, CCaaS. Down the road, maybe not. But the second thing is something that I've been harping on for a really long time, and we have it in a small kind of micro way, right? Which is, kind of an AI workforce, and I hate the word orchestrator, but I'm going to use it. An AI workforce orchestrator that just goes beyond forecasting, like having a mission control, having AI actually run your call center. You set the business rules, right? And in English, you just, hey, we need to keep service levels above 85% for our sales skills, 80% for service queues, and 75% for general questions. Maintain an ASA of 30 seconds for this. We need to have sales conversions here. Please prioritize call to our highest converting agents, right? Keep occupancy below or above 72% for the call center, right? Having all of these business rules set and then having the AI actually move agents inside out, use virtual agents when they have to. No more of this just having somebody staring at a dashboard, moving agents in and out when they start to see queues. right? We can start to do, and we're looking now at like predicted queue times, but adding in your workforce management, right? Seeing when queues are probably going to happen, be able to be preemptive agents to bring them on, right? That 30 seconds or 2 minutes before, we think that we're going to have a predicted wait queue, looking in the IVR for how many calls are in there, moving people before the actual service level takes a beating. Like all of that stuff, I think is vastly more important and where we are as a contact center as a whole, right? Even people that are using, a lot of agents for AI still have a lot of agents on the human side, right? And there's no reason why AI can't be introduced to actually run the center. Now, you guys have heard me talk about, again, I'm going to go back to NICE, but workforce intelligence, WFI, where you can basically do that a little bit, right? You can say, hey, I have new agents on the phone. If they go over 6 minutes of handle time, please then lower their priority levels so they don't take as many calls. Please make sure that I get an email if service level goes under 62%. Please move reserve agents in if the predicted wait time is going to go under, or the predicted SLA is going to go under 75%. Like we could do this in kind of many ways, and you can build that out, but it's really complicated. It's really robust. I'd love to see somebody actually build out the tool that connects WFM, connects your staffing, connects your ACD, right? And is able to then manipulate and take all of that data, learn from it, and then staff your contact center appropriately to make sure that we're hitting certain SLAs, service levels, ASAs. Even getting into QA and looking at what agents are doing what, right? To prioritize certain specific agents for certain things, right? That goes into the studio, right? What we talk about. So 1 and 2 are kind of like tied together. Right? To have really, everybody talks about we're an AI powered contact center. I don't even know what the hell that means. That means you have some AI chatbots. That means you're using agent assist. I do it too. That's what we say. And that's what we're doing. But I don't have this. This is a true AI powered contact center where AI is actually running the center. I don't see why we haven't thought that, and somebody's not really going to town on that, especially because the pieces from a workforce intelligence standpoint are there. And just as a cheap plug, not a cheap plug, but like something I always say, whether you have NICE or Five9 or Genesys or any of those platforms, they have a WFI type tool. If you're not using it, it's normally totally free. Make sure that you ask about that and you start using it, because we use it all the time. So I'd love to see this kind of like a WFI on steroids. Okay. We've talked about, having predictive routing forever, right? I remember, I don't know, probably 6-7 years ago at Interactions at NICE, there was a whole thing on really using personalities, right? And using personas to route calls. That never really came into fruition, but I think the idea is there and the idea is good, right? But we need to make that next available agent, that type of process that needs to go away, right? We can get with AI predictive routing that's not procedural, right? We can use sentiment and tone to understand emotion of that customer. We can, know agent empathy, and we can match customers to agents that historically deliver the best results for that type of personality type. We can look at the notes and see if somebody's been irate. We can look and see even their tone when they're in the IVR. Right? We can look at, their conversion likelihood. Like all of that analytic data is there, right? We have sales and retention trends. We kind of understand what customers' buying patterns are. We can look at what they've done on social media, right? So to assign lifetime value to certain customers. And again, this is somewhat being done within certain sales tools, but when you add in kind of that routing aspect, getting them to the right place, we shouldn't just be going to the next available agent. We should be going to the matchmaking of that customer, right? And I think that's really cool. Again, using CRM data, using their current sentiment or maybe they're talking through in the IVR, their conversion history. We consider the agent's tone, their energy, their performance that day, looking at their metrics for that day, right? Are they selling? Are they into it? Like all of this stuff we can kind of start to really hear and listen and then make AI powered decisions on what agents should be available or would have the best opportunity for success, right? This is more difficult, but with the tools that are out there, it's doable. And if somebody really wanted to put their time into it, this would be an amazingly powerful tool to make sure that we're trying to get the agents to the right place. Cooper, thanks, man. That's the new, the background is the new ChatGPT 5.2, kind of their new image thing, which is pretty cool. It's much, much better, and it spells things right. So, all right, the fourth thing that I would love to be able to see, and I think would be very valuable, and we have started to build an agent for this just internally. It would never be able to be sold, but to have AI dashboards, right? Or dashboards for our contact center built by prompt. So right now, everything is very static. And I think you have most of a dashboard, you have your SLA, you have your average speed of answer, you have your agent kind of profiles, right? Of what your agents are doing. You have your, kind of your workforce management and kind of your historical trends. Like you have all that in a dashboard, but I hate to, have to be able to pull up, create dashboards, look at filters, especially if there's certain things. Again, in a BPO world, our customers ask us, and they have these dashboards too, but they'll ask for specific data, right? Or a specific question. Like, I want to just be like, hey, you know what? Show me the handle time by sentiment over the past 7 days compared to conversion rate, right? Add in call volume and service level by skill. Drill it just to my sales team, show it by the hour. Highlight where CSAT has dropped more than 5% week over week. What skills has that happened in? And then we get to the point where it's proactive, where it starts to tell you some of the issues that are happening or some of the good things that are happening as well. So we move, again, from not just having a static thing that we have to look at and make our own rationale to asking questions, which is kind of the first part of AI, that kind of generative model, right? Where it's going to kind of generate answers, and then get into kind of the agentic model, right? Where it's telling us, hey, service levels were down yesterday in this, our occupancy was here. There's a lot that we could do, I think, with that. And then it ties back into our AI powered contact center, right? Hey, I'm going to make these changes now. Should I have them make that change? Right? AI powered contact centers don't exist. So when everybody says they're an AI powered, AI driven, it's all garbage, right? All they're saying is, again, they use some chatbots, they use agent assist, they probably have auto QA. I say we are an AI powered contact center. That's what we're doing, right? This again is truly, what I think contact center managers would want to see. People who run contact centers, right? They want AI to make their life like hands off. That's the whole point of this thing. And what we do is we just make AI more difficult. I don't know. It's frustrating. But I think that would be, very, very, very cool. And again, to have it start to prompt us for things that it's starting to see instead of just, right now it just like highlights things in red, right? Imagine saying something like, hey, show me where we're winning today. Where are we bleeding? What's the trend for tomorrow? How is call volume forecasted to go up this week? Is it forecasted to go down? Right now, we got to go and we have to look at different dashboards, different reporting. Let's have that all tied together. Let's be able to prompt a report. The next thing I think is super cool too is having agent assist be reimagined. And I know there are some companies that are working on this, right? So, but have it turn into real-time coaching, right? Again, it's kind of moving from that generative to the agentic model, right? Where it's telling you, and then it's going to do a little bit more, right? So, to be able to say, hey, you're speaking too fast for this customer. The frustration level, the CSAT is dropping right now. Make sure that you acknowledge, before you solve this problem, right? Your empathy improved 12% yesterday. Your sentiment went up, blah. You're doing a great job with this. And again, I'm not saying that we're in the ear because that gets super annoying and you're just given tons of information. But instead of just kind of bringing information to the agent, let's take that to the next step and have a real-time coach, right? Have somebody that understands the business model and the business rules of the company. So this can't be just generic. If you're a sales company, we're going to focus more on type of the sales things. If you're a customer support and your empathy and those type of things are really important. In CSAT, we're going to focus on those type of things, right? And to be able to build that out and listen to how you want your agents to really talk, how you want your agents to actually interact with customers, and then guide them, right? When they're going off the rails, or give them a, hey man, that's freaking awesome. You're doing great. So again, looking at AI as a coach, not just as a assistant, right? Not just as kind of a scripting tool that kind of pops things up. But to be able to, agents see how their words, their tone, their pacing affects customers. I think that could be really, really cool. I know that's the next level of what's coming there. But again, it's a lot of outside CCaaS. It's a lot of technical companies that are focusing on this, that are doing it. It's not with directly into your CCaaS. The next one is just a pain for me. I don't know how many other people deal with this, but I want real-time billing, analytics, and transparent pricing within the CCaaS platforms, right? I mean, I get very frustrated again with the whole, I hate the seat license thing. I know people say that everybody loves it. I don't. I think it's confusing. I hate minimums, thinking through what my minimum will be. I want to see what skills are without me having to go be a analytic guru that I do. And I do this every month as I look through our entire bill, and we give that to finance, and we know what skills and what programs are costing us the most. And we try to, look at that. But I don't want to do that, right? It would be great to not have these monthly bills, to have a real-time bill of what is happening in the contact center, what is actually costing us money. What have we spent today? What is the forecasted cost by channel, by queue, by skill? What is the projected month end cost? And again, I can build that out. I can do that in Excel. I can take that data with an API and pull it and then manipulate it. I don't want to do that. Why can't it just be here? What skills are driving the most expense? Do we have too much stuff on our platform, right? What is the utilization of analytics for this specific skill or this specific customer? All of that stuff. And that's probably more of a BPO thing. But again, to constantly looking at how we're utilizing our agents, right? So even like looking at utilization, trying to identify waste better, flagging anomalies, things like that I want to be in real time, I think would be a huge benefit to customers of the CCaaS platforms. CCaaS probably doesn't like it because you're going to be more knowledgeable about what you're actually paying for. But there's so much waste that does go into all platforms, especially in the BPO world, when I have certain customers, and it can get tough. And I try to stay on it as best we can, and finance does too. And I think we do a pretty good job of it, but there's still, depending on what a customer wants, we still have agents that maybe take calls from different customers based on a type of day, and maybe they have analytics on their platform. The other thing I hate is why can't we just use what I pay for what we use. If I turn somebody on the 3rd of the month, I got to pay for them for the month. Why? I mean, I know why, but there's no reason to do that. How about I just pay for what I use instead of paying for this month-to-month thing? Like, again, that's the whole CCaaS. That's kind of everybody does it, and I think it's kind of garbage. We don't have to do it. They want to do it because they make more revenue from it. But again, if I had a CCaaS platform, I would not do that. I mean, the one that doesn't, the one that really can explain that well about, hey, we don't do this anymore, it's going to be massive for them. But nobody thinks that way. It's just, it's crazy. What about you guys? Like, I'd love to hear anybody who kind of made this all the way through this 24 minutes. I'd love to hear some of the things that you guys would like to see. I think we've come a long way, right? I mean, real-time QA is another thing, right? That we're working on with auto. We're not there yet. I think would be, instead of waiting afterwards, to be able to score calls as they're happening. And I think that ties into agent assist. And I know some of the agent assist guys are kind of working on that to kind of tie the QA and that together. I think that is coming in probably in the next year or two. I love what we're doing with Redo, like to be able to have agents retake the calls that they struggled with, or they didn't do, or had a difficult customer, to retake that call with the AI avatar is something that should be in every single platform. Like, I don't understand why that wouldn't be part of your QA process. And then to be able to build libraries like we're doing with Redo, right? To keep the, hey, here's 5 different types of calls that all of our agents always screw up. So we're going to make sure that all of our agents take these calls before they go out on the phone so they don't make the mistake, right? To be able to take 15 to 20 calls with AI before they go on the phone. Like, that's the stuff we're building out with Auto. Again, I can't do everything, but we're trying to do really cool things that are outside of the damn chatbot thing that everyone seems to be doing. And again, no differentiation, pretty boring. I don't know. So anyway, this is my list. I'm sure I'll be adding to it next week. I'm for sure. It's a pretty chill week. You guys know the week of Christmas. So I'm going to talk about kind of what is real, what is not real. I think in 2026, when it comes to AI, what you should probably be looking at if you have budget for AI, and I hate saying that, budget for AI, it should be budget for problem solving or some problems that you want to solve. But I know AI is such a huge thing that we got to always talk about it, and we always have to invest in it, even though sometimes we don't even know what the hell we're doing. So again, thank you guys. I apologize for not being on as much. I mean, it's been a couple months. Like, it's bad. I've been really bad this year, but it's been a crazy, crazy, awesome year. I hope to talk to you more about this, in the coming years, and not from a sales standpoint, but just some of the really cool things that we've learned, especially with Auto and with Expedia, and some of the AI fails that we've had. We've had a lot, right? We've had a lot. We've had some really massive wins as well. So I'm going to try to go through some of the things in our BPO that we've really struggled with. Some of the things that I think are real or not real. Again, we'll continue to kind of move that list because that list is evolving very rapidly. And yeah. So anyway, let me know if anybody's listening to this. Please DM me. Please follow me especially on LinkedIn. Just search me up, Thomas Laird. And any questions on TikTok as well, on Facebook, on Instagram, right? All of that stuff from Advice from a Call Center Geek is there. So check it out. On TikTok, we have probably 300, 400 videos. YouTube has about the same. And again, this will be going almost to 250 episodes of the podcast. So again, thank you guys very much. Steven, let me see if I can put this on the screen here. Intraday, what if modeling informed by all the intelligence available in your, yes. So that's kind of what we're saying, right? To have the intelligence of everything that you own, right? To be able to, and again, that's the promise that we were told, right? With AI, we were told, it's going to be able to look at, from a customer standpoint, all the CRM data, all the notes, everything. It could go out onto the internet. It could search instantly, all their social media posts about certain topics. It could then be able to kind of predict, where this thing should go or why the customer is calling. And I think if it can do that, then there's no reason it can't get into our contact center stack, right? Everything from workforce management to the CRM to the ACD to any analytics platforms, any analytics tool to QA, have all of that data set and then start to make really good decisions on top of that. That's the AI people want, right? And again, maybe we're just not there yet, but I'm just tired of CCaaS telling us that the AI that everybody wants is the chatbot, which I think some people want that. I think that's one spoke of the tool, and it's a pretty important one. But there's all this stuff that's being left on the table that for no reason, nobody wants to build. And I think if somebody actually starts to do that stuff, they're going to be massively successful, especially in the next 3 to 5 years. And again, think about how many chatbots are going to be available in 2027, 2028. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a ton of them, or maybe they all just kind of move into one platform that's doing great, but there's very little differentiation. It's the worst thing to, I believe now, start to build. Everybody's doing it, and there's so much opportunity in these really cool kind of niche things that people actually want, people actually need, and it would make people's lives actually easier, right? Instead of just saying, hey, our ROI is going to be there, or we're going to lower costs. But how about we actually use AI for other things? I mean, the ROI is going to be there, but how about we make life easier? How about we make it better? How about we make the agent experience better? How about we make really cool tools that are AI powered that we can really change how we do customer experience? I don't know. That's me. But again, 30 minutes is I'm way over time. So again, thank you guys so much. Hit me up if you guys have any more questions. I'd love to talk more about this. I'll see you guys next week. I think next week you'll find very interesting as well. You know, again, what I think in 2026 is real from what people are saying and all these vendors. And when you go to CCW, what is real, what is not real, and what you probably should be investing in. And there's a lot of it. I'm not an anti-AI guy. I'm for it, but we just got to do it the right way. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.